There's Josh. Josh, how's it going this beautiful morning?
Hello.
Hey, am I getting you from Ontario this morning?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful Ontario. Looking through your history, have you lived in Ontario your whole life? Because it looks that way.
Yeah, I lived in Calgary for about 6 months out of that, but that was it.
Calgary for training, I would assume?
No. I moved out there for work. I was an electrician out there for a little while in the oil field. So,
Is Letterkenny correct that Calgary is great for its beef?
yeah. It was like the beef capital of Canada, I think.
The things I'm learning.
I haven't watched Letterkenny since they were just a YouTube pop up. Like before they made a sitcom, before they got famous, they were just YouTube stuff in like the early aughts, and like they were hilarious back then. I haven't watched them since then though.
Letterkenny Problems, I believe, is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The web series, which it's great and it's still pretty great. But before I ask you 20 more things about Letterkenny, of course, you've been doing great in Impact as of late. You've done both tag and singles. Is the long-term goal to be a top singles competitor?
I don't have a goal one way or another. I just want to literally, my escape is putting on professional wrestling matches. So the more wrestling I can do at the highest level with the highest level competition, the better. If that's in a tag team, it's a tag team. If it's a singles, it's singles. Right now, I'm going for that X Division Championship. I'm trying to put on the best matches I can for that X Division Championship and singles competition. And for the foreseeable future, I see it being singles. So if we're successful, I don't see any reason to look back.
Yeah, the X Division's always been acclaimed for having the best matches, the most high-flying and or action-packed kind of matches. Do you find pressure to go, well, it's an X Division match, so I better do something really impressive, or does that thought never go through your head?
No, not specifically like any specific moment like that. I look at every match like I want to steal the show. That's just how I'm wired. That's how I've always done things. How I've built my brand, kind of, so to speak. But yeah, no, I always have crazy ideas anyways. I don't think it's any different for X Division or not.
Now, I've been to some Impact tapings in New York, but I think the first time I saw you live was that really bizarre show at the Madison Square Garden Theater, the AAA show that you were on. It wasn't, say, Madison Square Garden, but it was still the theater. Was it a big honor, or do your Canadian roots say, no, it's the Maple Leaf Gardens is the place to be?
Well, I have wrestled Maple Leaf Gardens. I've been fortunate enough to do that, but no, it was a big deal. I got to take pictures beside like all these photos in the back of concerts and stuff that had played there and been in that venue. It's a cool little, like a little asterisk bucket list check, I guess.
Right. I'd imagine was that for everybody, and it was a very unique show. But speaking of concerts, you have something in common with TNA Hall of Famer Sting, which is that there's another person with your name in the music business who's a big deal like yourself. Have you ever encountered the musician Josh Alexander?
No, I have not. This is the first I've heard of this.
Oh, he's written songs for Demi Lovato, Nicole Scherzinger, a lot of big people. And the story I always heard was that Sting, the wrestler, trademarked the name and then gives it to the singer for $1 a year as a customary thing. So could we see Josh Alexander doing that first?
I mean, I guess I should look into that now.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of, I know of a college athlete that's a basketball player that's pretty good. That's Josh Alexander, but I never heard of this person in the music business. So that's interesting.
I'm one of those people that reads the liner notes to see who does what. So I don't think everybody knows it per se, but you'll get on the Google machine after this. But going back to you, I learned a lot about you earlier this month from the podcast that you appeared on that your wife launched called See You Next Tuesday. Great podcast. That kind of part of your personality doesn't really come out much in Impact. Is it tough to not be able to show that side of you?
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot recently, especially since like I've gone singles. My personality is not maybe my real life personality isn't exactly what people perceive me as in the professional wrestling sense. As a professional wrestling sense, people look at me and they think I'm an intimidating monster, which in real life, walking down the street, yeah, I might put that off just because I have this this face. But like with my wife and stuff, when I'm comfortable in my own home, I'm just silly. So, I'm sure it'll come out eventually in Impact Wrestling a little bit here and there. But for the most part, like I just take professional wrestling so seriously that I think I'm stuck in that zone, so to speak.
It seems like half the Impact roster is married to another wrestler. Am I out of line in saying that?
No, you're not. But yeah, my wife doesn't work for the company, so.
There you go. But she's a great broadcaster, and you're clearly a great broadcaster. In everyday life, does wrestling come up as 20% of your conversation, or is it the second that you're not working, this is real life?
No, so like I have friends and I've known people that they just have to shut it off when they get home. They can't talk about business and work and stuff. And like I don't see this as work. That's the thing for me. So like I'm at home, me and my wife, we're watching wrestling, we're talking about wrestling, we're doing this all the time together because she loves it just as much as I do. And like at no point, I know this is a job and a profession and a career, but at no point have I ever looked at it like that because it's so much fun for me. So yeah, sure. When I'm at home, we're just enjoying it.
I'm sure that the singer-songwriter Josh Alexander feels the same way about his profession. So you two can talk shop about that. But in general with Impact, when I look at your career, you've done everything that can be done except win the world title at this point. I'm sure that's eventually in your future based on your skill and all that. When you signed to Impact in the first place, did you know it was a long-term play, or was it kind of like a gig by gig, day by day kind of deal?
When I signed to Impact, I had no idea what was going to be like happening with me. I had no idea why they were signing me because I know everybody in power had known about me for years. Yeah. And I don't know what I did specifically. Like I'm still going to ask that question one day of what was the catalyst that made you just finally sign me? But I did it for the visa because I wanted to get into the American Indies. I knew I could make a living as a wrestler, even on the Indies, if Impact saw nothing in me, just for that visa. And they put me and Ethan together and as the North, and I didn't expect them to give us the opportunity they gave us so soon, but they gave us the ball and we didn't drop it. We just ran with it for 2 years. And now, he's dead and I'm on to singles competition. And, I got into wrestling to be a champion. I want to be X Division champion. That's like one of the bucket list things on me as a wrestling fan that I want to say I did before, I hang up my boots, and then on to the World Heavyweight Championship after that, because, I need to set a new goal once I reach one. But I had no idea that any of this was going to transpire, any of these opportunities would be here, because I don't think anybody can say they had, a for sure idea in the wrestling business.
Good call. Well, a year and a half to 2 years ago, we saw a guy that looked like you named Tim Burr wrestle. Any chance he might appear again anytime in the future?
Maybe if they bring back the IBWF or... Yeah, if that promotion comes back, I'm sure Tim Burr can dust off the boots and the suspenders.
That I thought was one of the greatest things Impact ever did. When you taped that, did you know it was that great? Or did you just tape it and go like, oh, that was another show and move on?
I got there a little bit late because I had an indie booking before the taping. Wow. And I got there and like everybody was already all costumed up in these new gimmicks, and like the second I walked through the door I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Like just the combination of like all the Rascals and even like everybody just knocked it out of the park, and everybody was having fun. And that's the thing, it came through when you watch it that everybody was having a blast. You know what I mean? Because if we're having fun, everybody watching this too.
Well said. Well, I did promise 15,000 Letterkenny questions. Being mindful of your time, I will not ask that many questions here because I'll wind down. But what are you watching on television these days? Because face it, every time you travel to Nashville, I'm sure your iPad is out or something is being watched.
Well, when I'm in Nashville, literally the Food Network's on for diners, drive-ins, and dives. I watch all these things I wish I could eat and get away with. But at home with my wife, we just finished watching 4 seasons of The Masked Singer because she discovered that. And I thought it was pretty good. So, yeah, a little unorthodox maybe.
Not the things I was expecting. I thought you were going to say 90 Day Fiance, but you didn't.
We have gone through that, but I recently, the new season, I got sick of it. There's no Big Ed. I can't get into it.
Okay, back to music end. What music do you usually train to or work out to? Do you have any favorites?
It's so eclectic. Like if you go through my like songs on my Spotify, it'll jump from country to hard rock to rap. Like it's just stuff that over the years I've fallen into. But depending on mood, it's usually like a rap or rock, something more upbeat to kind of pull me along.
And when I made the assumption that you kind of confirmed that a lot of the a lot of the Impact roster is married to fellow performers. A lot of the TNA roster, I don't know why I keep saying TNA. The Impact roster, my bad, it's the morning. A lot of the Impact roster,
read my hat.
The branding. I messed up, man. Secret musicians and singers on the roster. Are you a musician on any level?
Oh, absolutely not. No. My father was a career musician, could play every instrument just by ear, could draw you a picture with a crayon that would make, put any like real photo to shame. He was artistic. He did not pass that gene along to me. My artistic release is professional wrestling. That's it.
Hence all the violence. And before I ask the last question, the headgear is awesome. You're wearing headgear right now as well. I don't recall anyone else within the last 10 years wearing headgear in the Impact roster. Was anyone ever trying to get you to not wear the headgear?
I've had people over the years kind of bring it up, like, why are you wearing that? You want to get rid of it? It kind of looks silly, all this other stuff. But
no way.
That's like 1% of everybody. 99% of people, for some reason, since Rick Steiner, I've been the only person that's been able to pull it off. Many have tried, apparently, but I've been the only one that's pulled it off. So now it's like an identifier for me. It's Rick Steiner and Josh Alexander.
Totally. Well, the closer, and I say that as somebody who I think has made it, being on TV for years now. Any last words for the kids?
The kids, for the kids, for the fans, for everybody. I just I thank you for all your support, and I will show my thanks every time I step foot in the ring and try to put on the best match I possibly can. Awesome, Josh. Well, continued success is wished to you. Looking forward to more episodes of your Wise podcast, and just keep up the greatness there. Thank you very much. Paltrocast.